Attention, all other sports. Your time is up. Our time is now. Welcome into the PHNX D-backs Podcast. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as the mayor of PHNX. This guy is my vice mayor and the Thunderstick, the one and only Jesse Friedman.
Are we just saying the Suns are irrelevant now? They got Kevin Durant, but pitchers and catchers report this week, Jesse, so nobody cares.
It's baseball season. See, these people get it. These people all get it. Goodbye, foosball. Hello, baseball. Hello to you all. Thank you guys for stopping by. This is, of course, your favorite baseball show with your favorite baseball guys. And it's brought to you by the fine folks at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Jesse, we have breaking news that is no longer breaking because days have passed, but it's breaking for us because it's very exciting. And that is that the sheriff is back in town. There's going to be law and order at Chase Field. Andrew Chafin is once again an Arizona Diamondback. Signs a one-year deal with a club option for 2024. 6.25 million.
The numbers are confusing because when this was initially reported, Ken Rosenthal, John Heyman, and Nick Piccolo all had different numbers. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go with our guy Nick Piccolo though. Yeah. So it's a 1-year deal worth $6.25 million. That's the guarantee. There's $1 million in potential bonuses for 2023. So Andrew Chafin gets $250,000 for hitting 55 appearances, another $250,000 for hitting 60, and then another $250,000 for 65 and 70. So you can get all the way up to $1 million on top of that. And it also includes a $7.25 million club option for 2024. Honestly, Derek, it's a little crazy to me that you were able to get a guy who over the last 2 seasons has an ERA of 2.29.
Well, thank you. I tried hard.
Yeah. It was all you're doing. I know. But no, like this is a really team-friendly contract for the D-backs, honestly. Right. Andrew Chafin turned down a $6.5 million option.
Guaranteed.
With the Detroit Tigers. And his base salary is actually only 5.5. with this deal. The reason we call it 6.25 is because there's a $750,000 buyout on the second year option. So he's really making $5.5 million this year with the chance to earn a little bit more. So yeah, I don't know if there's a hometown discount situation happening here. Of course, the Diamondbacks drafted Andrew Chafin. He was in the organization for a long time, but he's really a freaking good relief pitcher. This is a pretty good move for the D-backs.
First of all, obviously, this has to do with wanting to live in Phoenix rather than Detroit right there.
I mean, that's I don't know if anyone's debating
no
that.
Attack to people from Michigan. I'm just saying I think you guys would agree there. Also, it's one last move that the Diamondbacks made that we were hoping to see them move to bolster their bullpen. Mike Hazen obviously has talked about having more bullets left in the gun at times, but we really didn't see them pull the trigger on any deals after the last couple of moves they made. Things kind of went quiet across baseball, to be honest. A lot of pitchers and players, position players we talked about last week that were still available on the free agent market. Andrew Chafin is definitely a name we brought up several times. Yeah, there's a reason for it. I know there's a lot of people out there that remember Chafin's time here with the Diamondbacks not being very successful. And while I'll disagree with that, I don't think he was ever not a successful relief pitcher. He had his issues with walks. That was the majority of the issue. That's what he kind of became known for a little bit, was not leaving,
walking the first batter,
and not leaving without getting that one guy on base, right? But since then, Chafin's numbers have actually been pretty damn good, and by comparison to the rest of the Diamondbacks bullpen, he actually kind of slides right in as their number one relief option. Based on the numbers, at least.
Yeah. So I wrote about this over at gophnx.com. This one was for diehards only. Did a little mini deep dive into some of the numbers with Andrew Chafin and how he really has improved a lot. He's not the same guy that you remember with the Diamondbacks from a few years ago. Correct. You mentioned that Andrew Chafin, a lot of times people would talk about walks and how that was kind of an ongoing issue for him. In some years more than others, but on the whole, he did walk more hitters than the average reliever back when he was with the D-backs. He doesn't do that anymore. Andrew Chafin now walks fewer hitters than the average relief pitcher at this stage in his career. And his slider, Derek, nobody hits Andrew Chafin's slider. I couldn't really figure it out. You should check out my story where I kind of go into the details and how it moves and whatnot. But opposing hitters last year hit 0.85 against Andrew Chafin's slider with a 127 slugging percentage. They also swung and missed at Andrew Chafin's slider more than hitters swung and missed at basically any slider in baseball last year. So it really is an incredible pitch for him. He's lost a little bit of velocity, so that's something that we'll definitely want to monitor. It's about 2 miles an hour less than what you would have seen a couple years ago when he was with the D-backs. But he is a different and better pitcher than he was then.
Numbers across the board are down. With the D-backs, he had a 3.68 ERA.
Down in a good way. Yes.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah, that's true. ERA of 3.68 in his time with Arizona, 2.30 since leaving the Valley. WHIP gone down 1.32 to 1.04. His K percentage has stayed pretty much the same. But like Jesse said, the big thing is his walk percentage dropping that from 10.1% to 7.5%. And it puts him like he wasn't even league average at 10.1%, right? He was slightly above.
The league average walk rate.
League average.
Yeah, league average walk rate's like 8.2%, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, it's 7.5% over the last 2+ years. Andrew Chafin just doesn't really walk guys anymore. And if you check out the article, I have a bunch of heat maps in there of where he's locating his pitches. They're pretty beautiful, Derek. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
As far as heat maps go,
I feel like he's applauding
for pitches,
himself for Andrew Chafin's work.
I sort of am. It takes skill to pull these heat maps off the internet, Derek. But yeah, no. I mean, just looking at them, they're textbook, right? Like the way that Andrew Chafin is locating his pitches since leaving the Diamondbacks, he's locating them where he wants to, and that's something that he wasn't always able to do back when he was with Arizona.
More importantly, the steps that the Diamondbacks have taken forward this offseason are going to fly totally under the radar, but they've done everything that we wanted them to do. They checked off all the boxes. One of the biggest things we wanted to see them do was develop who they were, who their core was. Who are they going to build around going forward? And I feel like that trade, even though it takes away one of the most productive members of the offense and defense at the same time in Dalton Varsho.
Yeah.
It really brings in a player in Gabriel Moreno that kind of defines what their core is now. Like without having that many top prospects all around the same age with the same years of control left, it just gives the Arizona an idea of what they're going to build around and who they're going to build around.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But it, the bullpen, addressing the bullpen, even though they didn't go out and get, the big name arms that some people might recognize or some people wanted them to get, no matter how unreasonable it was to think that they would go after those arms. Chafin is a big name. And as far as the numbers go, when you looked at relief pitchers left, he was one of the highest guys on the list. And that's not just for when we whittled it down to who was left. That was from the get-go. He was pretty high up there as far as his WAR and just as far as his performance level over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, there really weren't that many great relievers available this offseason, honestly.
Right.
It's
like center fielders, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like if you didn't get Edwin Diaz, then, you're not getting one of the top 5, top 10 best relievers in baseball or something. That's just not how the free agent market worked out this year. But he really was one of the better guys out there. I think it's a really good move for the D-backs, and it'll be interesting to see how they use him, Derek, because as we've talked about, the Diamondbacks don't really have any clear closing options. I would venture to guess that maybe Andrew Chafin could be a guy the Diamondbacks use in that role, at least part-time. He has 8 saves over the last couple years with other teams, so it is a role he has a little bit of experience with. But, I mean, you could also see Andrew Chafin in a left-handed specialist kind of a role as he's mostly operated throughout his career. So I don't really know exactly what that's going to look like, but with both him and Joe Mantiply and potentially Kyle Nelson, we'll see how healthy he is coming into spring training. At least from a left-handed perspective, you're looking pretty decent in the bullpen. I mean, Joe Mantiply was an all-star. Andrew Chafin, an ERA under 2 years ago, an ERA under 3 last year. That's a pretty good duo as far as left-handed relievers go, something the D-backs haven't had ever. I don't know. Like, when have the D-backs had 2 well above average left-handed relievers on the same roster? I don't know off the top of my head.
When have the D-backs actively tried to make their bullpen better by focusing this much on it, right? Like, I really feel like between last year and this year, they know that their weakness is the bullpen. They know that they needed to do something about it, especially after what happened last season. This was a pretty damn good ball club that lost a lot of close games late because of the bullpen. Those days are behind us. We're not going to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go like too crazy and say like, because before everyone was like, oh, the D-backs had a good offseason, but they didn't do enough to address the bullpen.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like because you brought in Andrew Chafin, now the D-backs are going to have a top 5 bullpen in baseball or something. No. It's still average-ish, probably a little below average depending on how certain guys work out. But it's not too hard to see this bullpen actually being pretty good when it's all said.
The bigger problem I have is that 10 losses made the difference in the world for this team last year. 10 losses, right? So, and it's not to say that 10 losses would have put them now as one of the best bullpens in baseball. That would have left them, 32 losses or 31 losses? They still would have been around the middle
31.
It would have been around the middle of the league as far as bullpen losses.
And the D-backs were 13 games out of the postseason. So even if you get 10 of those back, you're still on the outside.
What if you're getting 13, Jesse, and now the Phillies don't make the World Series? Now the Diamondbacks do.
There you go. All
right.
If the D-backs had Andrew Chafin, they would have made the World Series. That's basically what we're saying.
That's what we're saying. We're saying that 100%. In other news, that's terrible. David Peralta is a Dodger. Folks.
Yeah, that's a bit of a buzzkill, right?
I just feel like just transitioning right into it and just bluntly saying it. But before we talk about that horribleness, make sure to grab Jesse's piece on Andrew Chafin, and you can do that by getting yourself a diehard membership. If you're not already a diehard member, go to PHNX.com, get yourself a diehard membership. You can get Jesse's
the heat maps are worth it. I'm just saying.
He's really big on the heat. You also get Craig Morgan, Gerald, a.k.a. Girth, Howard, and so much more. You also get a free piece of merchandise from the PHNXlocker.com. You get 20% off all future purchases from there. You get access to our members-only Discord, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan, as well as so much more. Discounts with our partners, members-only events and merchandise, and so much more. So make sure to sign up for a membership today. Maybe we can get David Peralta to sign up. Maybe he misses us. Maybe he wants to keep up to date on D-back news. But I am sad by David Peralta being a Dodger. I'm actually, honestly, I guess I'm less sad because it would have made me more sad for him not to get picked up by a team.
Like if he signed a minor league deal.
Yeah, like if he signed a minor league deal or something. Yeah, like that would have probably made me more sad necessarily than him signing with the Dodgers. But
sure.
I will say that the more players that we know their weaknesses over there, maybe the better. Because now they got JD Martinez and David Peralta, and I'm gonna hate facing them once again.
Isn't it wild? So go back to 2017, right? The Diamondbacks headed to the postseason, the last truly fun year of Diamondbacks baseball that's happened all the way around. Their outfield that year, Derek, David Peralta, AJ Pollock, JD Martinez. At this point, all 3 of those guys became Dodgers.
Yeah.
But within not very long, right? I guess JD Martinez, it took a little while. He's just now getting there now. And then David Peralta as well. But AJ Pollock, right, became a Dodger almost instantly after that happened. So
is this just to demoralize us?
I don't know. It's just, David Peralta at this point, right? Like I understand people are going to miss the personality. And that rightfully so, right? David Peralta, one of the best guys in the game, one of the best clubhouse guys in the game. I think we all agree on that, but he didn't have a role in Arizona, right? So from that standpoint, it didn't make any sense for the D-backs to bring him back. We never expected that they were going to do that. He does make some sense for the Dodgers, right? They have maybe a Trace Thompson, David Peralta platoon set up in left field at this point. So Thompson will probably get the lefties. Peralta, I imagine, will get the righties. So it's a good situation for him there. But from a D-backs perspective, it's unfortunate to see another Diamondbacks outfielder go to Los Angeles. It's a little gross at this point. I agree.
By the way, we are very excited. Obviously, we know this is our time. Baseball is back. We have our new schedule that we are very excited about changing things up around here a little bit. We are going to be heading out to check out the workouts, pitchers and catchers report on Wednesday. Tomorrow, we actually have a fun little demonstration. Like we said, we're going to see if Rob Manfred goes out there and starts showing us the defensive shift rules and the banning of the shift. But make sure to join us all this week with our new schedule. Not only will we be coming to you live after the camp, but we have a very special little Valentine's Day present for you Did I say it right?
A Valentine's Dre present?
That would be on tomorrow on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we got Dre Jameson coming on this very podcast at 2 p.m. So don't miss that. We are definitely going to ask him his best dating tips, and
that's all we're going to ask him.
That's all we're here. It's dating advice
and shoes.
Oh, and remember that picture of him with the sunglasses? That's like iconic already, and like he hasn't even been around for a cup of coffee.
He wears SpongeBob shoes, Derek.
It's incredible. His shoes. Also, this is the man that beat Corbin Carroll in a foot race, not once but twice.
Yeah. And can dunk a basketball, just standing under the hoop.
I don't believe that. That sounds like some superhero stuff.
Yeah, maybe we can get him to demonstrate while he's on with us.
Yes.
See if we can.
I need
see if we can arrange that.
Yeah. So,
it is at 2 p.m. though. I want to emphasize we have never done a show at 2 p.m.
Not once.
so I don't know. Put that in your phone.
Yeah. Put that.
Set a reminder. 2 p.m. tomorrow.
And don't miss Dre Jameson on Valentine's Day. It's also Galentine's Day, so I'm which way?
Well, what day is Galentine's Day tomorrow? Is that what you're?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Galentine's Day and Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I don't. There's a lot of love going around.
There's a lot of love.
There's a lot of love going on right here on the chat. We appreciate you guys being here. Of course, if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss whenever we go live. And also, leave us a thumbs up. It's the best feeling in the world. It warms our heart. Also, if you're listening to us on your favorite audio podcasting app, leave us a review, subscribe to us, do all that stuff on your favorite audio podcasting app. And of course, make sure if you do watch us, also download us. Who says that you can't do both? Shout out to our friends from Four Peaks, by the way. They kept me very hydrated through the Super Bowl yesterday, I will say. So many sporting events in February to keep yourself hydrated with our friends.
Was that a hold, Derek? Was it actually a
hold?
It was
absolutely a fucking hold, Jesse.
Really?
It was
a hold. I don't think
but
that was
hated it. I hated it. I hated that he admitted it was a hold afterwards, because by comparison to the things that you see throughout the game.
Did he admit it was a hold?
Yeah, he said afterwards that it was hold. But I mean, I think he was just trying to be the bigger man there. Let's be honest. There are 9 million plays during a game that do not get called, and that one was called, and it was bullshit.
You do agree with me?
I completely agree with you. I thought it was too critical of a call to make it for it being that ticky tack is really what it comes down to. And unfortunately, it was a fantastic game outside of that. So I was so
excited for the end of that game, and then it was like, wow, this is the way this football game's gonna end. Like that kind of sucks.
As stupid as this sounds, one thought I had because of how much I love baseball, because Derek's addicted to baseball, and Daddy needs his sugar. You know what I mean? Like I can't wait for this week to come around. But during this, I thought, this is why baseball's better, because in a 7-game series, you don't have one play determining the entire series, right? Now, it could, like the Diamondbacks when they won the World Series wearing this. You guys remember that one? It did kind of come down to one play because, everything was all tied up and we went to big things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit harder for, like, with instant replay, it's harder for an umpire to really control the outcome of a full-on baseball series, like a full-on baseball playoff series. Not really possible. I know there are some examples where people would maybe have gripes with that, but
it's better than drinking a beer though. Pairing them with delicious Girl Scout cookies, Jesse.
Okay,
that's right. Check out Four Peaks cookie pairing at their 8th Street Pub location in Tempe on February 16th. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy, and enjoy responsibly. And by the way, if you need Girl Scout cookies, maybe I'm your guy. Just saying. I'm not trying to plug my daughter's Girl Scout cookie account here on this particular show, because that would make Max very angry that I would do that. But I'm just saying, DM me if you need cookies. That's all. All right, Jesse. Well, we might not get to do this much longer. So
we'll probably get to do it next week. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe we'll see. But regardless of if we do it or not, every week on this show, you guys, is Shark Week. Every day on this show is Earth Day. And every Monday, on this show, we go to the mailbag. Let's go!
My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox. And then once in a while, there's a letter that makes me go, wow, wow. My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. Try to get to everything.
First question. What is a catch in the NFL from our friend Charles Woodall Pike, a.k.a. a Cactus on Ice? We have no idea.
Yeah, football season is over, Charles.
We're done with those questions, Charles. We're not taking any more football questions. Those are in the past now. You know what we know is a catch? Baseball. Baseball, you know when it's a catch. Sure, you don't have another guy trying to knock the ball out of their hands, which would kind of be awesome. You know, it's not Susie Hunter's idea of adding guns to football, but it would be fun if you could have like a defender go out there and try to knock the ball out of the outfielder's hands.
No, that would not be fun.
I'm just throwing ideas out there, but no, we don't know what a catch is in the NFL. We can't help you with that.
I'm thankful that I think, every once in a while you'll have a catch in the outfield or something that they
is a bit questionable.
Yeah, a bit questionable. Yeah. You have to look at the replay and whatnot. But once you look at the replay, it's usually pretty obvious.
I feel like this version in Major League Baseball right now is the catcher at the plate rule.
Oh yeah,
right. It's very vague. It goes from umpire to umpire. Can be completely different.
Every pro sport has to have its one really ambiguous rule.
Yeah, one controversial rule.
Like, it wouldn't be fun unless we had something that nobody understood, not even the umpires.
That's right.
Like that way, it just wouldn't be the same. So,
by the way, before we got on the show, we found out a little breaking news that it sounds like that ghost runner rule is sticking around permanently. So we will talk about that more tomorrow. But you know what we're done with? We're done with football questions. Damon, next question. Let's go. What else we got? No, I said we were done with football questions. Okay, fine. Elizabeth, this was actually a good one. She said, what was the best thing you ate for the Super Bowl, Jesse?
Do I have to give a serious answer?
Did you not have a fun Super Bowl festivities and food? Oh
I didn't. I did not attend a Super Bowl party. I was building Chase lounges to be truthful with you. And no, but I did make some food. I was hungry, but I had a really nice Chipotle burrito for lunch, and I was pretty stuffed. So I just didn't have that much room left. So I made a delectable peanut butter and jelly sandwich for dinner that I ate yesterday.
No, that can't be the answer to this question.
It might have been better than the burrito, Derek. It was one of the best things I've eaten in a while.
Jesse, I think you meant that you had an illegal Pete's burrito for lunch.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the direction you went. Oh my God, I'm so disappointed in you. I had delicious brisket from Little Miss Barbecue, which is one of the finest restaurants in all the Valley to get barbecue at. But it wasn't the best thing I ate because my friend Jared bought an excessive amount of meat for a very small amount of people, like not nearly as many people. He put a whole brisket away that he did not share with me. Yes, I'm shaming him on this show because I still can't believe he didn't let me take any leftovers. Thanks, Jared. But there was some pulled pork that was actually better than the brisket, in my opinion. It was incredible. And of course, there's a lot of good places to eat. That was one thing about having all these people in town for the Super Bowl, was being reminded about where the good restaurants are that I know are here, but I forget and I don't actually go to because I stay very inside of my bubble around this building and my home building. But great places to eat. So, by the way,
not as good as my peanut butter and jelly
they're
sandwich,
all better than his. Every single one of them is better than his peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the rest of you visitors can go now. And so can these Super Bowl questions. What else we got, Damon? All right, here we go. Gabriel gets things back on track. What will it take for the D-backs to take some of the spotlight from the Suns this summer? Oh, that's not happening. I don't think that's happening. Also, how will your daily routine change starting tomorrow? Let's start with the first one, Jesse. What will it take for the D-backs to take some of the spotlight from the Suns?
Some of the, some is kind of, I don't know. I think the D-backs don't have to do much to take some of the spotlight. I guess how much of the spotlight are we talking?
We don't want that much. We actually want to share the spotlight with the Suns. We want the Suns to still have a significant portion of the spotlight.
I just know that after the whole Kevin Durant thing, I'm just going to be like a nervous wreck throughout the first half of baseball season because I'm going to be like watching Suns games and whatnot and being all stressed out all the time. But no, I think the Diamondbacks are well positioned not to control the Valley sports narrative over the summer because the Suns are going to do that. There's just no question about it.
The Suns are king in this town.
Period. If the Suns don't control the narrative in the summer, something has gone seriously wrong. But that only goes up until what, the end of June, and then after that,
they win the championship.
After they win the NBA Finals, then it's D-backs. Then they take center stage for a while. So I think just the youth on this team and Corbin Carroll and Brandon Pfaadt and Dre Jameson and Ryan Nelson and all the players that we've been anticipating for months now, right? Getting to see them play again. I think the D-backs are well positioned to really catch some eyes this summer and hopefully get some of the fans that have disengaged in the last few years to come back and be like, hey, this baseball team is actually going places and has a direction that maybe they haven't had in the past. So
I don't like that answer. I don't like that answer, Michael. He said a first-round playoff exit for the Suns would do it. No, I don't want that.
That is one scenario, but it's not a scenario that I want.
We don't like that. That's the darkest timeline.
Yeah.
We want the Diamondbacks to just share a spot of the very, very bright spotlight that's also going on. I would say, barring the Suns doing poorly, right? Like taking that out of the equation. The only thing I really feel like the D-backs could do is really have their young players start playing exceptionally well and to really start turning heads, right?
Yeah.
Corbin Carroll lives up to the expectations. Gabriel Moreno becomes their everyday catcher, and he starts catching fire. Some of the other young guys continue. Jake McCarthy continues doing what he did on the second half of last season.
Right.
I think you have that excitement around this team. You have these guys playing that well. Honestly, if you have a winning record after April, I think
with that schedule,
we'll be screaming their praises if that could be a possibility. But I think mostly the young guys playing well enough to get noticed and to get talked about and really start just immediately developing into the superstars that this team hopes that they could be.
Yeah. I mean, it's an exciting baseball team. It's the most exciting Diamondbacks team that we've had maybe since 2018, like coming off of the playoff appearance when you thought the D-backs had a shot to
build on what they already
to build on what they did.
Yeah.
I know 2020, after the Starling Marte trade, there was a lot of excitement there, but it's just different when it's young players.
Yeah.
Like when it's the guys that you drafted, it's just a whole different world. And the D-backs have so many of them that are so good, at least have a chance to be so good. It's going to be a fun year.
Chris says, but I don't have to love crowded concourses, right? No, you don't. None of us do.
Yeah,
but
it's fair.
You want to learn to live with it is what you want. What else we got, Damon? All right, Michael. Just the Suns have Kevin Durant as his Twitter handle is pretty fantastic. He asks, with 2 days to go until pitchers and catchers, is it justified to find it disconcerting that the Diamondbacks haven't announced any giveaway nights yet? The answer to that question is yes. It's very disconcerting. I'm going to say right now, Jesse, I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, it doesn't mean they're not going to.
It doesn't mean that they're not going to. But if you look around MLB right now, almost every single team has put out their promotional items, and some of them are absolute fucking fire, right? The Boston Red Sox have this Pedro Martinez shirt that looks like it dropped right out of like Death Row Records or something. It's incredible. You have even the Cincinnati Reds have this great like bobblehead, but not bobblehead. It's like a little statue of their stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
The Miami Marlins have a couple of bobbleheads that they haven't released what they are, but you know that those bobbleheads are coming. Every team so far across baseball has some sort of promotional schedule out, it seems like.
Is it literally every team?
I mean, I could not find a team besides the Arizona Diamondbacks that do not have one on their calendar. Like the Diamondbacks do have a section for it on their website, but it currently says to come back to find out what the promotional items are. It's not to say they're not going to have promotional items, but to Michael's point, it does start to make you wonder what items we're going to see if it's going to be another year without bobbleheads. I looked across baseball, and there are some incredible bobbleheads. Like I said, Marlins didn't have the Marlins didn't have theirs listed, but they had kind of like some mystery bobbleheads coming up. The Cubs are giving away like a Fergie Jenkins statue bobblehead that's really cool. And I think it was Billy Wright statue bobblehead. And, of course, their players. They have Nico Horner. They have a fucking WWE night over at the Chicago Cubs. And unfortunately,
we might need to get you out there, Derek.
They have Clark the Cub as Hulk Hogan, and I'm not happy about that. But the the bobblehead is fucking fire. It's awesome. It is incredible. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that WWE night makes its way to Chase Field because I need that more than I need Star Wars night. And I want to see some stuff, man. I really do. I want to see the Miami Marlins have a Goya Foods tropical shirt giveaway, and it warms my Boricua soul is what it does, like deep down inside. I need that. So if anybody here just by chance is watching from Miami, DM me. We need to make arrangements.
Gabriel makes a good point. He said maybe they just had all Varsho branded giveaways.
Maybe they did.
So they're just scrambling. Right? Yeah, they were all Dalton Varsho. They were giving away
that makes too much sense, Gabriel.
They were giving away like a replica of the meme, the All the Tools meme that we put out all the time. They had those manufactured, ready to go and everything, and now they're just scrambling, trying to figure out what to do.
Okay, so Tyler Hurd actually says promo schedule normally comes out on FanFest. FanFest would have been held the weekend before the Super Bowl, I imagine, or the weekend of or after. We know that the MVP event is this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So that is essentially FanFest. So hopefully we will see the promos as well. Elizabeth says, I'm not seeing promos on Mets calendar either. Well, I'm sure. I'm hoping that this is just again because of what Tyler said.
Yeah,
it's just kind of when they're going to release it. I saw something about Brian said fake wrestling. What other kind of wrestling is there? I didn't know there was like. Do people watch real wrestling? Come on, Brian. We don't need to attack an art form that I love. Clutch Connect says, I still love when the Grizzlies had a wrestling belt giveaway. Oh my God, I didn't know they did that, but that I need to look up. All right, is that all we got for segment 1 there, Damon of the mailbag? Okay. Well, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to download the Underdog Fantasy app. We are riding on pitch counts with MLB this year. Pick'ems, higher, lower. You find a pitch count. You go, you search a pitcher's history. You cross-reference that with the team he's playing and how well they're playing, what his past performances against them, what he's done in his last 5 starts, and you determine if you want to go higher or lower than their pitch count that they give you. And it's that easy. The more of those you add, the more money you can win. Be like me. I won $1,000 over on the Underdog Fantasy app doing that. You can also draft fantasy teams for daily fantasy against your friends and win some cold hard cash. Do something like draft 6 NBA players with no positional limits, and that's it. Whoever scores the most fantasy points wins the day and the money. It's easy to get started. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app. Sign up with promo code PHNX, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. And like Jesse says, don't be an underdog, be an overdog over at the Underdog Fantasy app. I still don't think that word exists, but if he wants to keep pushing the issue that it does, I will believe him. But more
it's in the dictionary, Derek.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You can take it up with Merriam-Webster.
I will. I will. You said you were building Chase lounges again.
I was, yes.
You're insufferable. So again, guys, I need help because Jesse doesn't understand how to furnish a house. So make sure to drop him your finest furnishing tips. I know most of you have some great. I guess it would be like hacks, furniture hacks, things that he needs to know that like why he can't have nothing but Chase lounges in his house. But of course, email him about that, text him about it, send him stuff on Twitter. We want you to go to morefurniture.com and of course, get whatever you need for your house and get that white glove delivery service where they will bring it to your home and set it up for you and you don't have to do a thing. Save big on the best furniture in the valley when you head to morefurniture.com. And now we got some more Mailbag Monday questions presented by our friends at MOR Furniture. So let's go. What else we got here, Damon? Oh, Chris decided to DM us for some reason because she has to be difficult. So here's her DM. Chris asks, Aiden says pitch framing is baseball flopping, arguing that actions are deliberately taken to get a call from officials that might not happen otherwise. What say you, Jesse?
100% right. Absolutely. Top-notch analysis.
Accurate. Nailed it right on the head. No notes. No, but yeah, seriously, right? I mean, essentially it is what it is. And that's one of the problems. That's why catchers that do frame pitches exceptionally well are very valuable, even if they don't have that value elsewhere, like at the dish.
Yeah, I mean, in the same way that ambiguous rules are a necessary part of sports, you also need some sort of situation where you're trying to deceive the officials, right? Yeah. Like that's just that it wouldn't be pro sports without it. Right. So in baseball, we have pitch framing, which is where we have at this point the technology to make it so that the people sitting at home basically have a better idea of the strike zone than the poor guy behind home plate trying to do it with the naked eye.
That's right.
And yet, we're okay with that. And we have catchers behind home plate who are trying to fool the umpire, even though, we have the technology to know whether a pitch is actually in the strike zone or not. So,
and that's the thing that bothers me. That's what really bothers me is that we do have this technology.
Right.
And there's this idea that like we're replacing someone's job or something by fully implementing it, right? Like we're doing something to grossly change the game. It reminds me of the judge in tennis, right? Because the challenge system in tennis is a lot like the challenge system we saw during the Arizona Fall League, right? Where it's instantaneous and it is a computer telling you accurately whether the ball was in or out. And why do we need this guy sitting in a chair? Why do we need you here? If we have this system to do this, why do we need a man in a chair with poor eyesight? Why do we need a guy behind the plate? Like, I understand you need a guy there no matter what. There's always going to be an umpire behind home plate.
Yeah,
but
that won't change.
He doesn't need to call balls and strikes. That doesn't need to be his job. And the umpires don't need to get up in arms in that, because it's like, we're just trying to take a job away from you. You have one less job to do. We're not going to pay you less. We're going to pay you the same amount. You just now have to, like, call other stuff, like, plays at the plate and things like that. Stop worrying about calling balls and strikes. It's nonsense.
I mean, the key difference between framing in baseball and flopping in the NBA is that balls and strikes, as we're saying, is something that a robot can determine. As far as I'm aware, there's no robot that can decide, whether it's a shooting foul or, like a foul on the floor. Like,
or if the guy got knocked down, if it was a charge, or if it was a block.
Yeah. Like, that's not something, at least not that I'm aware of. I don't think the technology exists yet.
When that happens, we're all done for. When that technology exists.
I mean, maybe there comes a day when, like, NBA referees and NFL referees, and, like, you genuinely don't need any human element at all, which would be kind of sad, honestly. But at least as far as balls and strikes go, we are at that point, and it does set up a weird situation where, as long as human umpires are still calling balls and strikes, framing is still going to be one of the most heavily valued things that a catcher can do. Yeah. And there's a lot of concern over if at some point we do go to a robot system or a challenge system, that the art of framing will no longer have center stage. It will become basically useless. And at that point, there's a lot of catchers that might be looking for jobs that have no problem finding them now. So we'll have to see what happens with that.
Damon, can we take a step backward to a question from the last segment, because I don't think we answered the second half of it. It was Gabriel's question, and he had asked basically
daily routine.
How will your daily routine change starting tomorrow? And actually, tomorrow is just that. Of course, it is that the day to go out and watch them do the new rules,
demonstration of the new
rules, whatever that means. But starting Wednesday, of course, with the later schedule, I mean, I'm instantly not a fan. I'm telling you that right now. I'm a morning person, so I get going very early. I am going to get out.
That's exactly what you would want then?
No,
I mean, the workouts are in the morning.
The workouts are very early. Like, the media availability starts at like 7:30 in the morning or something ridiculous like that. So I'm also like, there's a window. That's too early. Like, it's too early, and I'm not. But
it will be a little odd, like, these next couple weeks, because we are going to do the show at 5.
Yeah.
But the day will start pretty early, and then we'll have maybe some downtime in the afternoon some of these days. So until spring training games start, it will be a little weird. But it's I mean, I won't have a life anymore, Derek. I've fully come to terms with that.
He tells me about his life.
I don't tend to have much of a life anyway, but for the next 9 months at this point, until basically November, when we have
my loved ones.
Pretty much.
The reason I'm not calling you back is because baseball. That's it. That's the reason.
It's the best reason you can give.
I will say it is weird. It is weird because I am a creature of habit, like a lot of baseball players. So it's weird for the schedule to change, because I feel like ever since we got into this office, I've kind of been doing the same thing. Aside from changing from Sunday through Thursday when the season was still going on to Monday through Friday, we've kind of been just plugging along and doing our thing here. I will miss my morning times in the gym, Jesse, because there's a perfect time of the morning around these parts where you could go to the gym in this building around 10 o'clock and there isn't a soul to be seen for at least 2 hours in that room. So I'm definitely going to miss that, but definitely excited to get out and be around Salt River Fields. Like, it's one of my favorite places, almost more than Chase Field.
It's entirely too cold though this week. It's like, come on, we got pitchers and catchers reporting. It's like 54 degrees outside.
Yeah, definitely not.
This is not okay.
Not a fan of that. What else we got, Damon, for our final question there? Oh, no, we got 2 more. What else we got? Don's Bread asks, with Valentine's Day coming up, which D-backs player would you cast to be the next Bachelor? And, of course, this is our Don's Bread question of the week. Jesse actually told me he watched The Bachelor. And
I have watched The Bachelor a few times.
I won't lie. I know that's blowing a lot of your guys' minds, too. But
I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was kind of ridiculous.
Yes,
but,
of course. None of us enjoy it. We just watch it out of spite.
It is ridiculous in a very entertaining sort of a way. Like I can't believe what I'm watching right now, sort of a way. So I did enjoy it. But
question. Let's get to the question.
Yeah. What do you think, Derek? I'm going to leave this one to you. What do we got?
Well, you know the rule of these type of questions. The answer has to be Madison Bumgarner or Josh Rojas. Obviously, we've seen how Madison Bumgarner reacts to people wanting to hold his hand. So I'm not picking Madison Bumgarner. I can only imagine how explosive some of the dates would be on that show with Madison, right? It's Josh Rojas. Josh Rojas is the answer. Josh Rojas is the one individual that, to me, like the other guys are a bunch of good-looking dudes. Don't get me wrong, but they're all very nice, right? If we were forming a boy band, like we talked about in the past, because we did form a boy band, Josh Rojas is the bad boy here. He's the bad boy of the boy band, and I think that would make it an intriguing season of The Bachelor to watch.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it makes sense. I mean, Josh Rojas, just the personality. There's going to be some drama. Like he's gonna represent himself well.
Yes.
He's not gonna take no for an answer. He's gonna, I just see all sorts of entertainment value that could be had there.
Brian asks a great question. What is more fake, The Bachelor or WWE? Push. Right? No, they're both predetermined results. That's what it is. They're both.
Is The Bachelor entirely predetermined?
Yeah, like the NBA. They all have a script.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't you hear that? Okay.
I did.
So it's all scripted. That's the reason why yesterday's Super Bowl went the way it did also. All right, moving on. What else do we got? 99 Fan Club at Zancho on Twitter writes, D-backs win total over under is 75.5. Easy money taking the over, right? Yes.
It's
free money.
Feels like free money to me.
It feels like free money.
I mean, for the D-backs to not free money. I mean, the D-backs won 74 games last year, and they traded one of their best players in Dalton Varsho, right?
Valid.
So there is I could see a scenario where, maybe there's some injuries. The D-backs had really good injury luck last year. If that doesn't happen, maybe you take a slight step back there. You got some good performances from guys like Jake McCarthy, who, you're not totally sure if he's going to be able to maintain that in the long run. So it's possible that it's under, but I mean, the D-backs are mathematically projected to win 81 games. That was before the Andrew Chafin move. I imagine it's probably up to 82. We'll probably be talking about that more tomorrow, but there's not much evidence for the team to finish under 75.5. I think that's a pretty confident over.
There you go. And you can do that on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you haven't done so already, you should download it. If you're a new customer, you can sign up with our promo code of PHNX. If you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PHNX, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's $5. I don't know if it's missing the rest of the words in that, but it's just saying bet $5. So just bet $5 and you'll get $200 of free bets instantly. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app with code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. My Super Bowl bets did not go well, Jesse. As we said, I took the Eagles, I believe, by $1 billion. Is that right?
Yeah.
$1 billion points?
I don't want to say I was a little hesitant about your confidence with that one. But
I didn't get the script. But the thing I'm more mad about, Jesse, purple Gatorade.
Was it purple?
It was fucking purple Gatorade.
I didn't even.
I'm dressed in purple today in honor of the Gatorade color.
You threw some serious shade at purple Gatorade.
I threw all the shade at purple Gatorade. I threw every bit of shade at purple Gatorade.
What flavor is purple Gatorade?
Grape?
Okay. All right. That doesn't feel like it would be very good, honestly.
No, and they had to drink it all game, and I almost feel like somebody in the locker room had money on purple Gatorade.
Yeah.
Plus 1,600, Jesse. That means for a $20 bet, you'd win, what, $320, if my math is correct on that?
I think that's
Holy shit. Anyway, that's incredible, and obviously I did not do good. That's why I'm done with the NFL. But
I'm amazed that the Chiefs won a game drinking purple Gatorade.
I am too.
That's the real mystery.
That's a great point. How did they do that? I don't know.
There is a purple Gatorade that's decent. It's called like Riptide Rush. It's not really grape flavor.
Okay, yeah.
It's
Gatorade those are like the Arctic ones, like the Frost ones, right? Yeah.
I think that might have been the purple they used.
I'm okay with that. I still think that the fix was in on that one. But I also want to give a shout out to our friends from Mountain Mike's Pizza. Mountain Mike, our friend Mike over at Mountain Mike Smith, he says he's not the real Mountain Mike, but I don't believe him, Jesse.
Oh, he's absolutely the real Mountain Mike.
If you were the Monopoly guy, would you go around telling people you were the Monopoly guy, right? So I don't believe him for a second. But shout out to our man Mountain Mike and all our friends at Mountain Mike's for the delicious food. We got pizza here. We got
well
delicious
fed today.
pizza. We are being treated to what is this
When
goodness?
the moon hits your eyes like a big pizza pie, that's...
Jesse?
No!
It's a more.
Is it more?
It's a more.
I was pretty sure it was
Yeah,
more, but I wasn't
Yeah.
totally sure.
So,
Come on.
if you want beautiful
I did
pizza
that
like
whole
that.
thing. I did the whole thing. You couldn't even finish.
Yeah,
the
I know.
One
He
word.
blew it.
You had one word.
He had one job. Anyway, head over to mountainmikespizza.com or to their Mesa, Chandler, or Tucson locations to place your next order. Reminder, new diehards get a $50 voucher for Mountain Mike's upon signing up. So make sure to do that. Another reason for you to become a diehard around these parts. But we're so excited. We can't wait to bring you guys tomorrow not only our interview with Dre Jameson on Valentine's Day, but updates from whatever this weird demonstration of the MLB rules is going to be.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a lot of fun.
I really hope
I'll have footage of Derek out there doing the demonstration for all of
It's
the
gonna be me.
reporters
It's gonna be me.
in the entire industry.
Yeah.
So
probably not the best idea, but you make sure to follow us. Until then, I am on Twitter at @cap_caveman with a K. This guy's at Jesse N. Friedman. Our show is at PHNX D-backs, but of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Going back to some of those answers real fast, Gabriel Ferrer said, put Mad Bum on the weird Farmers Only Bachelor that they advertised yesterday. Yes, I love that idea 1,000%. The Clutch Connect says, Walker, the Clint Eastwood of the squad, cold and collected on Bachelor. That's hot. You would be hot on there. So I love your guys' ideas and keep them coming. We always appreciate you guys being here. And until next time, when we got Dre around, we thank you guys for showing up on behalf of Damon, Jesse, and myself. Sean, the MVP, is also in here. We appreciate your guys' time as always. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun on Galentine's Day.